What's up, guys? Luckside here again on the ClearCryptos YouTube channel. Want to talk to you about what's going on in El Salvador and Bitcoin. Okay, now if you aren't familiar with the news or haven't paid attention to it, El Salvador actually adopted Bitcoin as an accepted national currency back in September of 2021. Now, before we go ahead and kind of get into why they did this and how it's been working so far, if you are new to the Clear Cryptos channel or haven't already, make sure you go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell. Again, you'll get notified anytime content is live and available for your viewing pleasure. So, El Salvador has had financial problems for quite some time. Okay. Now, we won't get too much into why that is, but basically they've taken on, tons and tons of debt, and it's just continued to get worse over time. So they've been trying to figure out a way to overcome this and, basically fight the crippling debt that they've had in their country for quite some time. Now, after there was a civil war back in the 1980s, they actually adopted the U.S. dollar as the digital currency. So this happened back in 2001. It was considered the official currency, and it was given them the ability to manage their own finances. Now, it does say with the U.S. dollar as its base currency, El Salvador was unable to implement its own monetary policy to pay for domestic costs like social programs or infrastructure. So instead, what do? They continued to borrow more and more money. Well, we've kind of found that if you continue to borrow more and more money and you can't pay it back, it just compounds and gets worse and worse and worse, and inflation gets worse and worse and worse, and eventually, you have, again, crippling economic debt. Okay. Now, El Salvador again did adopt Bitcoin as legal tender last year, and they actually spent a little more than $100 million on Bitcoin. Well, obviously, they did this during a time where we started to go into the bear market. So obviously, financially, this has not been good. So there's a lot of people that have been calling it a failure, saying that it wasn't a good idea. It hasn't worked, yada, 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 right? What is important to note about this is a direct result of them doing this, a direct result of their effort through the use of blockchain technology. Millions of unbanked Salvadorians now have access to financial services and global financial markets. So I would say that this is actually a huge success, as would others. And the reason for that is what crypto is supposed to do is it's supposed to put, money back in your hands. It's supposed to give you control of your own finances. And that's exactly what blockchain technology and cryptocurrency does. So now, with the use of one of these, it has given the people of El Salvador the power to control their own finances. Now, there are different ways of doing this. Obviously, adopting, a current cryptocurrency as your, as legal tender is one way of doing it. While obviously we've talked about in other videos that, there are countries that are trying to work on their own central bank digital currency that will be their own legal tender. So there's a couple different ways that this can be done. But this was kind of an early, one of the first countries to actually do this. And so it's kind of like, we'll call it the pilot program. Okay. And obviously right now, Bitcoin still has volatility, but what is important to note is that as we go further into time and Bitcoin hits the top of the S curve, if you're not familiar with that, I would just recommend looking up a video. Basically, it starts like this and then it kind of goes up parabolic and then it kind of flattens out over time, right? It loses its volatility. So as it gets to this point where Bitcoin starts to become flatter because there's so much money in it, it's harder to move the needle. Okay, it becomes more stable as time goes on. It's going to make it easier and easier for countries to adopt things like Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies as legal tender. So that's kind of my little spiel about that. But right now, obviously, El Salvador has got a ways to go because, again, they are early in this program. It's barely been a year since they launched it. We'll really be able to gauge more once we hit a bull market again. So that's going to be pretty cool, exciting. Just obviously stuff going on in the world of crypto finance, right? But as always, we appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to watch this video. Again, if you haven't already, please, and I say this at the end of my videos, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. Again, that will notify you anytime we have content that goes live on our channel. Be sure to go ahead and check out the Twitter, check out the Discord as well. Tons and tons and tons of great content and announcements and and stuff coming your way. I mean, you don't even understand how big the roadmap for ClearCryptos is. The vision is gigantic, and there's gonna be so much that's gonna blow your mind. So definitely make sure you pay attention, follow in all the places that you can, so you don't miss any of the announcements. So appreciate you guys again, and hope to see you in the next one.